Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Jah, not Yah, not Allah, not Ahaya. It's Yahweh. His only begotten Son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yeshua. It's Yahweh Shai, not Yeshaya. It's Yahweh Shai. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Ark pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hope for the elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, a few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification, Lord's willing. This be edifying. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain, and I do not own a copyright to these videos. This is for educational purposes only. Lord's willing. This be edifying.
We're going to begin with breaking news as California is effectively back under lockdown tonight as the surge of coronavirus cases exploding across the U.S. is now slamming head-on into the country's largest state. Tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom says he's stopping indoor dining in restaurants and closing all bars, wineries, and movie theaters statewide. After a weekend that saw the state's beaches overflowing, the governor is also closing gyms, churches, and non-essential offices in the state's 30 hardest-hit counties, essentially shutting down California for 80% of people living there. And the state's two biggest school systems said today they will only do distance learning in the fall. Tonight, closures come as coronavirus infections are now growing in 40 states and at a rate nearly twice as fast as in April. In Florida, new cases have jumped so dramatically that the Sunshine State now ranks ahead of all but 3 countries in infections worldwide. The nation's top infectious disease expert warned today we haven't even begun to see the end of the pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci pointed to video of crowded bars and people not wearing masks, saying states went from shutting down to throwing caution to the wind. And as we come on the air, there are more than 3.3 million confirmed cases nationwide, and the virus has killed more than 134,000 people here in the U.S. There's a lot of new reporting to get to tonight, and our team of correspondents is standing by to cover it all. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti is going to lead off our coverage tonight from Los Angeles. Jonathan?
Nora, this is a major setback for businesses like the ones behind me, businesses that said they were already struggling just to get by and have already exhausted their personal loans. The governor tried to stop this surge. He closed all beaches over 4th of July weekend, but that didn't work. Now the world's 5th largest economy bracing for more closures.
Reopening reversal tonight in California, effective immediately. Indoor operations at restaurants, wineries, and tasting rooms, movies, and museums must close. Bars are the hardest hit, both indoor and outdoor operations now banned.
This is in every county in the state of California, not just the counties that were on the monitoring list that we announced on July 1st.
The 1-2 punch landing as the state averages more than 8,000 new cases a day, 3 times more than 1 month ago. Numbers are surging nationwide.
This is a really serious problem. It is truly historic. We haven't even begun to see the end of it yet.
Despite a spike in Florida, Miami's mayor today resisted calls for more closures.
Miami is now the epicenter of the pandemic. What we were seeing in Wuhan 6 months ago, 5 months ago, now we are there.
Overall, Florida added nearly 28,000 new cases over the weekend as more people pushed testing sites to capacity and new COVID patients fill up hospital beds. In parts of the South, hospitals are being pushed to the brink. At least 12 hospitals throughout Mississippi are at ICU capacity.
I think we're teetering on the edge of failure. And if we continue to see demand increase, then it will certainly overwhelm our system.
Across the country, there is a concern that younger people are still not getting the message. In Texas, one doctor described a 30-year-old patient's last words after attending a so-called COVID party.
They looked at their nurse and they said, "I think I made a mistake. I thought this was a hoax, but it's not."
This 4th of July party in Michigan is yielding both positive cases and calls for everyone who is there to be tested. And in New York City, once the epicenter of the virus,
we do see one trend that's worrisome for young adults. We see the infection rate rising, and the particular group we're concerned about is 20-year-olds to 29-year-olds.
Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And see, y'all think this thing a game, man. This is not a game, man. This is serious. It's serious, man. This is Habakkuk 1:5. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, though it be told to you.
Most name brand bars and body washes
Salakia.
you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent.
Salakia. Habakkuk 1:5. Again. Behold, ye among the heathen, talking to you Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitians. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye would not believe, though it be told to you. And it was mentioned again in Acts 13:41. It reads, Behold, ye despisers, and wonder, and perish, for I will work a work in your days, a work which ye shall in no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you. And our apostles and elders, starting with our apostles and elders, been declaring this since they've been on the truth, since they've been in the streets, man, in the highways and byways, pushing the truth since their elders, man. Starting with Albert Bivens, man. It has been declared. Everything in these scriptures has been declared, man. Starting back in the mid 60s, man. Okay? In the late 60s. All the way to now, man. These things is happening. This is the Lord working the work, man. This is let me get this again. Isaiah 45:7. It reads, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. See, this is the work of the Heavenly Father, man. Things is going what? Backwards, man. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, have not done it? This is the work of the Lord, man.
And we begin tonight with continuing coverage on a story I first brought to you in May. The landlord for the Red Lobster in Tyler alleges the restaurant chain has refused to pay rent, telling us the company owes her $80,000 in back rent. Many restaurants, large and small, have been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, and now we've learned the Tyler landlord is not alone. Tonight, you're going to hear from other property owners who leased a Red Lobster that are making the same claim, speaking out against the company. In our special report tonight, check please.
This is a story of David and Goliath in modern age.
Red Lobster being Goliath. Big companies sometimes just play hardball. These owners being David.
It's really been hard. They didn't pay rent for April or May. It's very unfair.
From Salem, Oregon to Bloomington, Illinois, from Columbus, Ohio to Tyler, Texas, Red Lobster for all 4 restaurant locations has refused to pay the required rent. Red Lobster says that its restaurants are suffering because of the coronavirus outbreak and that each restaurant is working with each landowner to come up with accommodations. That sounds fair. But with cars in the parking lot, dine-in, takeout, and delivery all available, well, these landowners simply ask me, why can't we have just a piece of those profits?
Countered with a waiver plan, which meant that there would be no repayment whatsoever to the Chung family.
And as of July 1st, Chung says the restaurant owes her more than $125,000, so she's suing them.
It appears that Red Lobster profits above people.
As of this week, the restaurant will be served and the court date is set for September. What do you think about filing a lawsuit against a big company like Red Lobster? Are these property owners, are they in limbo?
Not at all. First of all, if I were a property owner in this situation, I would band together with the other property owners and establish that there's been a pattern, if there is one, a pattern of misconduct by the corporation. And then I would pool our resources and hire an attorney on a contingent fee to bring that corporation into court and to hold them accountable for what they owe.
They're working on everybody else's money.
Fran Indirect says the restaurant is behind by $48,000. Ava Chung says they owe her $125,000. Add another $83,000 to Lynn Spencer, and you've got a grand total of $250,000 plus past due.
They know that the cost to the property owner of going to court and getting what they're entitled to doesn't justify going through the process. And that's why the law allows for contingent fee contracts. That's where a lawyer can be hired by a small business person or an individual going up against a company based upon a percentage of that person's recovery. That contingent fee contract, which is used very often by small businesses and individuals going up against big corporations, allows the playing field to be leveled.
For the Chung family, Ava is a mother of 2. Her husband Thomas there passed away due to cancer in 2018. She says now she has 2 daughters to raise on her own, and what she gets from the Red Lobster rent checks.
If I get 50%, I won't have to worry. I'd be okay.
The landowners dispute this statement sent to Fox 51 News by Red Lobster. It reads, "The COVID-19 pandemic has significantly changed the way we are able to operate. Because of the crisis and consequential government actions, our sales remain well below normal levels. Since fixed rent is one of our 4 largest expenses and we haven't been able to use the properties as intended, we are actively working with each and every one of our landlords seeking temporary accommodation."
We've had to use dig into our reserve bank account, which is limited.
They rejected that offer outright.
They don't care.
They should be.
And you see this? This is this is the Job 9 and 24s going against each other, man. Okay? It's a dog-eat-dog world, man. These are the Job 9 and 24s, man. Fighting amongst themselves, man. This is Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. The debt, man. Debt. These are the Idumeans fighting amongst themselves, man. Okay? The landlords versus the business owners, man. Hey, this is beautiful, man. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 30 and 7 that he would put all these curses on our enemies, man.
Be helping Americans during this time.
And they pissed off, man. Everybody is pissed off, man. I gotta hold this. I gotta go back and get this again. Salakia. I shouldn't have took it down. Let me go back and pull this again. See, the Lord is working a work, man. He's working a beautiful work, man.
At least 12 hospitals throughout Mississippi are...
Let me run this back. I gotta run that back. I gotta hold that. I want to play this one. Hey, cause this is spiritual, man. And it's happening all around the world, man. And if you understand what happened to Puerto Rico, hey, the Lord been jacking them up, man. Let's play this.
Now to the ongoing crisis in Puerto Rico, which just can't seem to catch a break. The island was still recovering from Hurricane Maria, then facing a barrage of earthquakes, then the pandemic hit. Now they have a water shortage to deal with. We talked with people on the island who increasingly feel their government has abandoned them. For Zori Mendez, this scene is becoming all too familiar. Earthquakes and aftershocks, over and over again.
In 24 hours, there were 25 tremors.
Mendez is just one of thousands of people displaced due to more than 9,000 earthquakes that have hit Puerto Rico in the last 6 months. Forced to live in a tent due to damage to her home, she says she and other victims continue to see more destruction as the ground continues to shake, and all live in fear of what happens when the next big one hits.
We don't sleep. We worry that another quake could happen, and they are happening every day.
Those fears are made worse by the sense that they've been left to fend for themselves.
Ever since January 7, not a single government agency has visited us to see how we're doing.
It's just the latest in a series of disasters that continue to hit the vulnerable island. From the debt crisis to Hurricane Maria to earthquakes and COVID-19, and now a water shortage. Each new crisis piles on the last, making recovery from any of them that much more difficult.
During a pandemic, they tell you you can't leave your house, but during an earthquake, they tell you you need to leave your house.
Everybody has to get ready. Everybody has to get a go bag ready.
Teacher Marilu Mayorga says it's a phenomenon she's seen over and over again through her nonprofit Island Corps. In early January, she and her team arrived at an earthquake camp ready to provide the kids there with an education, but quickly realized they needed so much more.
It was really hard for us to teach there because the children had not showered in 4 days.
You were coming to try to teach them lessons on how to spell and do math, and what you found is they needed the absolute basics. Is that right?
They needed the basics, yeah, and also just hygiene. We couldn't give them the service.
This is Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately. Let me start at verse 1. Matthew 24 and 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And that's talking about right now, Babylon the Great, man. It's not going to be nothing left here, man. Okay, again. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things that's over the four corners of the earth, starting in Babylon the Great? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. What we see going on right now? The beginnings of sorrows, man. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. I'm starting at verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? Isaiah 42. Let's get this. Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And he's telling us of them, man, by the signs. Isaiah 46 in verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am power, and there is none else. I am power, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient time the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Now, when I read Isaiah 42 in verse 9, again, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. These things is going on now. These are the new things that shall come to pass, man. It said, behold, the former things are come to pass. Okay? And new things do I declare. That's what Habakkuk said. The Lord said he will work a work in your day. Though it be told to you, you would not believe it, man. And it's happening. It's happening. Does Jake believe it? No. Two-thirds of Jakes don't believe it, and the heathens don't believe it, man. But it's happening.
Because they had, they were really soiled. They weren't wearing shoes. It was kind of an image, that you see in really impoverished nations. And for me, it was really shocking.
Rather than give up, Mayorga put out a call for help, and her network answered. Within a week, she was back teaching in an earthquake camp, this time equipped with 2 donated solar showers and donated solar lights.
I mean, it sounds like your organization is providing so much more than just an education for these kids and for these families.
We had an amazing experience teaching them, to the point that by our 3rd and 4th class, every child wanted to go. They could go into the showers, and I would sing a little song to them about a 30-second song. And we started teaching them how to wash their hands, because in the camps there was no access to water, and they had lived there, and we needed them to be as clean as possible because we also didn't want to get sick.
Still, despite Mayorga's determination, once COVID officially hit the island, Island Corps was forced to suspend their program.
I remember the last day that we were teaching, and every single student was crying. When I told the children, we can't come anymore, not because we don't want to be here with all of you, but because we can't risk your health.
Currently, Puerto Rico's health department is reporting over 2,000 confirmed COVID-19 infections and more than 6,500 possible cases.
West area of Puerto Rico.
Epidemiologist Dr. Melissa Marzan says this has been another crisis where the people of Puerto Rico are not getting the help they need.
So it was very messy at the beginning of the
Why are they not getting the help they need? Because they worship, man. They worship Santa Maria and Jesus Christos, man. This is not our power, man. Okay? Jesus Christos, Serapis Christus, is not your Lord and Savior, man. Jehovah, Jah, Yah, whatever you call him, that's not your God, man. That's not your power. Yahweh is not your power, man. This is the Lord judging, man. The northern and the southern kingdom.
In terms that we have at least 3 different Secretary of Health over this process to starting the cabinet and 2 different territorial epidemiologists. We have so many issues with the surveillance process and how to define the cases. And also we have a lot of complication with the molecular testing here in Puerto Rico, because at the beginning of the response, we need to send our test to the CDC in Atlanta.
Many have also questioned the government numbers after admitted inaccuracies in April. And while Marzan says the data seems more reliable now, she still worries, saying the island continues to reopen despite a lack of projections on future cases.
Is there one thing that you think Puerto Rico needs right now more than anything else?
Transparency. We need all the information without these so many layers. We need to have access to the data. We need to enhance those prevention measures at the community level. So that's a real concern because we are opening all these activities, but we are very behind in terms of the educational campaign that is very important in terms to make the people take all these recommendations.
But as the island struggles to cope with the physical ramifications of these crises, they're also taking a mental toll, as evident in a recent mental health survey.
The 50% of the participants of that surveillance system, they self-report to feel anxious or depressed.
We already had a really big challenge with the youth here. After the hurricane, there was a high level of depression.
It's part of the reason Mayorga says getting Puerto Rico's kids back in school is so important, but it's also so difficult.
You know, the Department of Education, they want to say, we want to start schools this fall, but we're so deep in the trench of the digital divide here. How are we going to teach children when a lot of the teachers, they still don't know how to use Chrome?
La mayoría de las personas. Most people don't have computers in their homes. They don't have internet. Actually, I relied on this phone to do all the work. And I asked myself, what about those who don't have anything? How are they going to do it?
Some of the schools that we work with here, they didn't have any soap or toilet paper. And these are things that nobody wants to talk about because everybody wants to think Puerto Rico is beautiful and we're a beautiful island. But the big issue why we have been the way we have is because of our education system that has failed us terribly.
Is there a point in all this where you feel helpless?
I don't feel helpless because I'm always doing something.
Her latest initiative, Forest Schools.
We're going to be the first forest school in the entire Caribbean and out of Puerto Rico, our mobile school. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to do education that's outdoors, so small initiatives, so no more than 10 kids. And I think that's the way for us to go. We have to teach outdoors. We're going to need the solar showers. We're going to need lots and lots of teachers and people who care.
With all the talent and natural riches Puerto Rico has to offer, she says the island may be facing an uphill battle, but she's filled with hope for its future and hope for change.
The new era, people no longer, they do not trust the government here. Nobody does. Everybody feels defrauded by it. And disappointed is an understatement. We definitely have to reconstruct, remake, and transform. But pass the torch. It's time to pass the torch.
Happy birthday to you. And we did reach out to the governor's press office about this report, but received no response.
Hey, you see? The Lord is jacking them up, man. Okay? This is Isaiah 28 and verse 2. Behold, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand the crown of pride. The drunkards of Ephraim shall be trodden on the feet, man. That's what's going on. Puerto Rico been getting hit bad, man, since Maria. They been getting tore up, man. Why? Because the Lord is judging his people, man. They worship Santa Maria, Jesus Christos, all these other type of gods, other gods that they worship, man. The Lord say, we supposed to turn back. We gonna remember him in the land of our captivity, man, and turn back. This is Hosea chapter 5, verse 3. I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled. Verse 15. I will go and return to my place, till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. The Lord is jacking them up, man. Are they repenting? Are they converting back to this truth? Back to Yahweh? No, man. This is James, Jeremiah 5 and verse 3. O Yahweh, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. The Lord hath stricken us, we have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction, man. But they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. Therefore I say, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of the Lord Yahweh, nor the judgment of their power. You see, Jake will not repent, man, and turn back to Yahweh, man. They won't do it. Why they won't do it? Stiff-necked and hard-hearted, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 12 and 21. It reads, and the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, I will say the word, and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh. Power, which I read. Isaiah 42 and Isaiah 46, man. Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he sealed is for many days to come, and he prophesied of the times that are far off. Lies, man. They are upon us right now, man. They are not far off anymore, man. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh power. And it's happening, man. It's happening. The Lord is jacking up the world, man. It's Ezekiel 6 and verse 6. In all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate, that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. And the slain shall fall in the midst of you, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. And this is happening all over the planet, man. Everywhere. I gotta play this again. Closing with this, man.
Going to begin with breaking news as California is effectively back under lockdown tonight as the surge of coronavirus cases exploding across the U.S. is now slamming head-on into the country's largest state. Tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom says he's stopping indoor dining in restaurants and closing all bars, wineries, and movie theaters statewide.
If this happening in California, it's going to happen in every other state, man. Prepare, man. Get ready to be locked down again. And you Jakes, you are going to go crazy out there, man. If it's happening in California, it's going to happen everywhere else, man.
After a weekend that saw the state's beaches overflowing, the governor is also closing gyms, churches, and non-essential offices in the state's 30 hardest-hit counties, essentially shutting down California for 80% of people living there. And the state's two biggest school systems said today they will only do distance learning in the fall. Tonight,
Ezekiel 6 and 6. In all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate, that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and ceased, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. And the slain shall fall in the midst of you, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh.
Night closures come as coronavirus infections are now growing in 40 states and at a rate nearly twice as fast as in April. In
Ezekiel 35:4. I will lay this time about the Idumeans. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. The Lord is throwing down your high places.
Florida, new cases have jumped so dramatically that the Sunshine State now ranks ahead of all but 3 countries in infections worldwide. The nation's top infectious disease expert warned today we haven't even begun to see the end of the pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci pointed to video of crowded bars and people not wearing masks, saying states went from shutting down to throwing caution to the wind. And as we come on the air, there are more than 3.3 million confirmed cases nationwide, and the virus has killed more than 134,000 people here in the U.S. There's a lot of new reporting to get to tonight, and our team of correspondents is standing by to cover it all.
One more precept I'm going to close. This is Amos chapter 6 and verse 3. It reads, Ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near. That's what's going on, man. They put off the evil day of the Lord, man. Okay? Why? Because they trust, when they tell you in Ecclesiastes 5, man, in that day and that security, man, everything look good to them. It'll bounce back. Well, it ain't gonna bounce back, man. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Lord's willing to edify. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the 4 ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwa who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. Hey, Lord willing and edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom, wa abad babal. They putting off the evil day of the Lord, man. If I can get that real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 7. Make no tarrying and turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh shall come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of your calamity. Shalom.